In the late 2000s, the Premier League was enjoying no shortage of young talent. Here are the brightest prospects from Football Manager 2009. Giovani dos Santos joined Tottenham from Barcelona in 2008 for a fee of up to €11 million. Big money for a player who'd make just 17 league appearances at the club over the next 4 seasons. After failing to perform in England, he'd move around in La Liga, MLS and Liga MX. He's been without a club since leaving America in 2021 and in all likelihood won't be seen on a football field again. Argentine forward Franco di Santo. During the 09 season he played 16 games at Chelsea, but failed to find the back of the net. Following an unsuccessful loan spell with Blackburn Rovers, Wigan would take a chance and bring the South American to Lancashire. Over 97 games he'd register 20 goals and assists and get his hands on his second FA Cup winners' medal. After departing England in 2013, his career became quite nomadic, playing in Germany, Spain, Brazil, Turkey and Chile. For the 2024 season, he's back in his homeland with Independiente Rivadavia. Player whose flame is still burning pretty brightly, Danny Welbeck. Once regarded as one of the best talents emerging in English football, Welbeck spent the majority of the first 7 years of his career with Manchester United. He'd win 6 trophies at the club before an unlikely switch to Arsenal. Injuries definitely hampered his time in North London, but he did add a couple of winners' medals to his collection. Now at the age of 33, Brighton have recently renewed his contract for another year. Technically, Fabian Delph is with Leeds in League One, but that doesn't detract from him being one of England's brightest youngsters. This was his breakthrough season at the club, as he'd make over 50 appearances before their eventual playoff elimination. Aston Villa had seen enough and brought him to the Midlands. In 6 years, he'd established himself as one of their most reliable players, narrowly missing out on an FA Cup winners' medal to Arsenal in 2015. Just a few months later, Man City came calling, and he finally got his hands on some silverware, back-to-back Premier League titles. He retired in 2022 with Everton. A rather fresh-faced Andy Carroll. The 2008 season would see the young forward get his first real opportunities in a Newcastle jersey. He'd play 16 matches and find the back of the net 3 times. His form would improve dramatically over the next couple of years, and after 11 goals in the first half of the 10-11 season, Liverpool were inspired to sign him for £35 million. Meant to be a direct replacement for Fernando Torres, it's safe to say that didn't work out quite as they imagined. Over the next 18 months, he'd scored 6 league goals as he was unceremoniously loaned out to West Ham. More recently, he spent this season in France with Amiens and helped them to an 8th place finish in Ligue 2. Another highly regarded youngster in 2008 was Adel Taarabt. Tottenham had bought him to England from Lyon, but he just couldn't find any form in North London. His best period in England definitely came with Queen's Park Rangers, especially the 2011 season, as his 19 championship goals fired his side to the Premier League. Aside from a short renaissance with Benfica, since leaving English football, his career failed to reach those heights again. Currently he's playing in the UAE Pro League with Al Nassr. 15 years ago, Jordan Henderson enjoyed his debut season with Sunderland. Over the next 3 years, he played 79 games, registering 16 goals and assists. In a period when Liverpool made some rather questionable signings, Jordan Henderson for around £20 million has to be among their best. He'd played 12 seasons on Merseyside, almost reaching 500 appearances. He'd win 9 trophies, including an elusive Premier League title, as well as numerous continental medals. Now 33, he's playing with Ajax in the Eredivisie and probably has his eye on a few more trophies in the coming years. A bit of a forgotten man, but an exceptional Premier League professional, Victor Moses. A product of the renowned Crystal Palace youth system, he spent the first 3 years of his career in South London before Wigan brought him north. He demonstrated his quality and versatility in Roberto Martinez's side before a return to London materialised with Chelsea. In West London, he won 4 medals, including a Premier League title in 2017. I often forget Daniel Sturridge began his professional career with Manchester City. This would be his final year at the club, as once again Chelsea would come calling. After some elite form on loan with Bolton, he did get a chance with the West Londoners. but his finest form had to have come in the red shirt of Liverpool, particularly in the 2014 season, as he'd find the back of the net 24 times, narrowly missing out on a league title by 2 points. With the arrival of Jurgen Klopp, his playing time diminished, as did his goal involvement. In 2019, he left for Trabzonspor in Turkey. The player who truly burst onto the scene, Federico Macheda. In his first 4 Premier League games, he'd scored twice, including a very memorable goal against Aston Villa. Over the next 5 years, though, he'd only scored 2 more goals in the division, before leaving the Northwest in 2014. Between 2018 and 2022, Macheda rediscovered that goal-scoring instinct with Panathinaikos in the Greek Super League. 50 goals and assists in 116 matches showed that once again he could be relied on in front of goal. The 08-09 season would see Gareth Bale truly establish himself as a member of Tottenham's squad. He'd been on the periphery the year before, as his side enjoyed a League Cup triumph. With the arrival of Harry Redknapp, his role grew exponentially. Within 5 years, he'd played 237 games, scoring 71 goals, as well as 53 assists. Real Madrid would call, and the rest is history, as Bale would establish himself as one of the best footballers of his generation. Jack Rodwell. Considering how his career's played out, it's hard to believe he was once one of the highest regarded youngsters in England's top flight. At the age of just 15, he became a regular in Everton's reserve side, before making his senior debut a year later. Over the next 4 seasons, he'd become a solid and dependable member of Everton's starting 11. In 2013, Man City came calling, and whilst he did get his hands on a Premier League winners' medal, the transfer really began a strong decline in his fortunes. Following a terrible spell in the Northwest and then Sunderland, he's most recently been with Sydney FC in the A-League. Definitely a range of stories here, but all who emerged in this period hoping to achieve the biggest dreams in football. Who knows who'll be next to emerge in England's top flight, but I'm sure they'll be hoping to replicate some of the successful players here.